Right, hey there everyone, welcome back to another episode of All Things Coffee. If you are familiar with our series so far and have been following us for a while, you should know that in this mini series of All Things Coffee, we do, well, a few experiments, a few funny cocktails, a few interesting cocktails or recipes with our grinders and our coffee machine right here. So today, yes, we've been doing a lot with these two so far, which is the Gemilai 3007L and the CF64V. Now, in our previous episode, we were talking about what a macchiato is. So in All Things Coffee, you would also learn some things about traditional coffee as well and the kind of ingredients and recipes that are done. Some of our episodes, we talk about fancy cocktails and fancy drinks, such as the sunrise coffee cocktail or my personal favorite, the espresso martini. So for today's episode, I'm going to show you guys how to do an interesting cocktail. It's a take on a classic cocktail called a whiskey smash. In this case, we're going to be doing a coffee scotch smash. What you need is any of our DF64 grinders. For this one, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it with the CF64V and our coffee machine right here, which is the Gemilai. So the ingredients that you need is 1 shot of espresso that we're going to be doing with the Gemilai, and we're going to be grinding up with the CF64V, a bunch of mint leaves, which I have right here, vanilla syrup, and with that I'll do equal portions of scotch. All you need is something to shake the thing with and strain the drink out. So these are the things that you would need, and I'm gonna break it down for you how I'm gonna do this. At the same time, you can also take note of some of the things that I do with my grinder. Without further ado, let me begin. First and foremost, I'm always going to be measuring my coffee beans no matter what. So for me, for my espressos, my recipe has always been a standard of 18 grams and I'll get out 36 grams of coffee. But at the same time, I could just very well go with 30 grams of coffee, and that's what I'm going to do because I'm going to be going 30 ml of scotch, so I want to make everything equal portions. So I'm going to go with 30 grams of coffee. So what I do is I'm going to measure out 15 grams of beans. Now, as you can see right here, whenever I do this, I'll always be using my dosing cups to measure out how much coffee I'm putting out. So I'm going to be putting in 15 grams. Yeah, I'm working with the medium roast that I have. So I want around 15 grams. There we go. Got about 15 grams right here. Next up, I'm going to be making an espresso. So with all our variable grinders, you can adjust the RPM. For an espresso, the best way to go about it is ramping up your RPM all the way up to 1800. That's what I would do, and that's what I'm comfortable with. I'm pretty sure in almost all of our videos, especially with All Things Coffee, I do these steps for maintenance before almost every grind. I'm going to purge the beans. Purging the beans also allows me to understand if I have the right grind size, but that's according to touch. So in terms of touch, I would go for something that's fine like sand. It's not too loose like soil. If that's easy for you to understand, that is what I would go for. Not so fine that it ends up feeling like flour. I'm not making a cake and I want my coffee to get extracted. Anything coarser than that would just leave it resulting in an under extraction, and that's not what we want. So yeah, that's my experience based on how I grind. Honestly, this is fine. It doesn't stick onto my hands like flour, so I'm okay with it. I've not done this a lot on the series, but here's what I would do if I was going to be grinding straight to a portafilter. Yes, I advise against it because I always want you guys to measure out your coffee beans at the end of the day, especially to make sure that you get, if you're putting in 15 grams in, you're getting 15 grams out. But in this case, I just want to show you what I would do if I'm going to be grinding with a portafilter. Now, mainly with the Gemilai's portafilter. I'm using a dosing collar for the portafilter. For portafilters, I'm okay with it, but I place it gently. I don't really recommend it as much because I always say that, you know, personally my preference is you grind into a dosing cup, you measure it out, and then you transfer it over to your portafilter. But if you want to skip a few steps, you want to go straight ahead and use the portafilter, by all means, sure. For the CF64V, the portafilter forks are designed specifically for it to fit your portafilter, so it's slightly wider, meaning to say that the rubbers last a lot longer than it would on the rest of the DF64 products because they are slightly narrower. So it's a much more snug fit with those grinders. As you can see, it's just nice for the portafilter for the Gemilai, and I will get the dosing collars for the portafilter. Most of the grinders, almost all the grinders now no longer come with the dosing collars for the dosing cup. but you can still purchase it as an accessory from us if you want to do it like how I'm doing it with the portafilter. Now I've let this grinder run on for quite a while. It's time to grind. Great. Okay, so now that we have our espresso right there, just gonna let it cool down a little bit. Well, meanwhile, let's prepare the rest of the ingredients first. So first up, I'm just gonna be preparing the smash. Got myself a few mint leaves right here. Just gonna like take a few of these. Smells good. Now I have vanilla syrup right here, so just gonna add like a tablespoon in there. So this is how it's gonna look like. Now I'm gonna slowly muddle it. Do it thoroughly until like you get a strong infused aroma coming through. Try not to break the leaves too much apart. You do not want anything small enough to pass through the sieve or your strainer. Next up, I'm gonna add 30 ml of scotch. Then I add my coffee in here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a dry shake. Make sure that it's hard on. Okay. And then give it a dry shake. Last part, add ice. Shake it until it's cold to the touch. Just the way you like it. Then prepare a glass. Ooh, nice. Then you can garnish it with a mint leaf. And well, there you have it. A coffee scotch smash. So this is how I would do it with the Gemilai and our CF64V. I've also shown you how I would use the portafilter. Let us know what you thought about this drink and this whole video in the comment section down below and what you want to see next. And yeah, until then, next time, get your pre-orders in for the CF64V now and purchase our Gemilai 3007L from the website. I'll see you all next time. Bye.